Hello third graders, this is Mrs. Copeland and I'm a math teacher in Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools. I'm going to be helping you with third grade memory joggers. Let's take a look at week 10, day 3, problem D. Show 2/3 on this number line. Show both 2/3 and 2 on this number line. We have a couple things we need to remember. Fractions are numbers and can be placed on a number line. We can determine how a number line is partitioned by counting the number of equal parts between 0 and 1 or between any two whole numbers. Let's take a look at our first number line. We see 0 and 1. How many equal parts on this number line between 0 and 1? We have 1, 2, 3. Since there's 3 equal parts, we know that these are thirds. This would be 0/3, 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3. We know that this is correct because anytime you get to 1, the numerator and denominator should be the same. 3/3 is equal to 1. And I'm going to put a star by 2/3 since that's the number we're supposed to label. And the next one tells us to show both 2/3 and 2 on this number line. So on this number line, if I were to count the spaces again, I might say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if I were to count that way, I would make a mistake because I might think this is counting by 6. But I have to remember that we should always look between 0 and 1 to decide how a number line is counting. Or really, you could look between any two whole numbers. So let's see, 0 and 1. We've got 1, 2, 3. So this number line is also counting by thirds. We have 0/3, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. Notice just like up here, the numerator and denominator are the same at 1. 4/3, 5/3, and 6/3. So we're supposed to mark 2/3. We did do that. I'm going to put a star there. And 2 on this number line. We didn't mark 2, so how should we know where 2 goes? If we look and we see that 0 and 1 are here. So to get from 0 to 1, it took 1, 2, 3 of the equal parts. So to get to 2, we're going to need 3 more equal parts. 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. There is 2. So now we've also labeled 2 on this number line. Another way that you can see that that's true for 2 equaling 6/3, if this was one whole, it would take 3 parts this size to make a whole. So we can see that we have 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, and that's the same size as this whole. Well, what if we kept adding thirds? 4/3, 5/3, 6/3. So just like it took 3 parts on this number line to make a whole between 0 and 1, it takes 3 parts again to make another whole for 2. So we have 6/3 making 2. Thank you, and if you have additional questions about this problem, please ask your classroom teacher.